We're talking about Donald Trump. President, you got criticized for many things, but one of the things you got most vociferously criticized for was saying that you thought COVID had come from a Chinese lab. Now, all of a sudden, everybody is circling back and saying, oh, maybe this did happen, but all of these different tech platforms disallowed the conversation and debate to actually take place. Right. Are you still as confident now as you were last year when you made those allegations that COVID came from a Chinese lab? And what should the consequences be for China for the lies that they spread about where COVID came from and allowing this to spread around the world as opposed to being transparent with everybody from the get-go?
Probably more confident, and that, I felt very confident last time, but I would say even more now in retrospect, because a lot of the phony things that they were saying about, came from here, it came from 1,000 miles away, from a bat colony 1,000 miles away. Much of that has really been disproven, and I would say more confident. And it was amazing because that was another one. I talk about when I said spying on my campaign, the place went nuts. When I said that, when it came from the lab in Wuhan, people went crazy. Now, it's probably that I said it. In other words, if somebody else, I said hydroxychloroquine and people went crazy. If I would have said, do not under any circumstances take hydroxychloroquine, probably they would have said, oh, that's terrible, let's take it, right? It's like one of those things. So they like to go the opposite because they think it's good politically. I actually don't. But now, almost all of those things, maybe all of them, have been proven correct. And I think they have now a list of 18 different items. It was 10 2 or 3 weeks ago, but they found other ones. They just go against. And no matter what you do, they want to go against. These people, I don't believe they love our country, I'll be honest with you. But with the lab and Wuhan, and frankly, even if you didn't or weren't sure, why would they be so vociferous? You remember, they went crazy when I said that, and they tried to die. Now they're all saying that I was right. But they've said that about a lot of things. Almost all of the things that I said, I was right. When I said that terrorists caused such and such an attack, and I said it early, like about 2 seconds after the attack, right? They'd say, this is terrible. Well, I'm 18-0 on those attacks. It's like they would take a little bit longer. In many cases, they wouldn't want to say it, and in many cases, they didn't say it. But they do have a tendency, and I guess they think it's good politics. I don't see why it's good politics. As far as China is concerned, they should pay us reparations. They should pay us for the damage that they've caused, and frankly, the damage they've caused to the world. Now, they don't have enough money to do that. They don't have nearly enough money to pay for the damages, but they should pay us $10 trillion. They should pay the world a lot. But, we took a tremendous hit. And because of what we did, and because I came up with the vaccine in 9 months I did it in less than 9 months. It was supposed to be, Buck, you knew this. It was supposed to be 5 years, 3 years, but it'll never happen. By that time, everybody would have been dead. This would have been, if I didn't do that, this would have been another Spanish flu of 1917, where perhaps 100 million people died.
President Trump, can I ask, because Los Angeles County is reinstituting, this is just today, indoor mask mandates. It seems like there are still people, and they are overwhelmingly your most vocal critics, so it's interesting there's a crossover there, who really want to take us back into lockdowns and what some of us call Fauciism. Yeah. Are you worried that that's where we're heading, and is there a part of you that wishes that you had fired Dr. Fauci when you could have?
Well, I did the opposite of what he said every time. So if you really look, he was talking about doing different things. He didn't want to close. Actually, I was more severe than him in certain things. I closed it to China very early in January, if you remember. And 3 months later, he was saying that was a mistake. And now he said, I saved tens of thousands of lives, which I did. I also closed it to Europe. I saw what was going on in Europe, so I closed it to Europe. Now, with all of that being said, he came in, he said no masks. He didn't want anybody to wear masks. And now he's a radical masker, as I call them. Radical masker. That's what he is. I mean, I saw, it was sort of interesting, during Biden's State of the Union address, which people compared to FDR. I was a big fan of FDR's speeches. I don't necessarily agree with what he said, but his delivery was very good. They compared Biden's speech to FDR, and I said, oh, he's going to get killed tonight. This is really bad. Oh, this is really tough. And then they said, that was close to FDR. And I said, I can't believe it. But behind him was Nancy Pelosi. She had the single largest mask on that I have ever seen. I have never seen it that practically covered her whole face. Look, I think it's ridiculous what they're doing. The kids have to get back to school. We have to stop. We have, between the natural immunity, which is probably the ultimate vaccine, if you want to know the truth. But between that and the vaccine that we did and did a great job with, and did it in years ahead of schedule. The FDA does not like Donald Trump. Let me put it that way. They have never seen anything like it. This thing would have taken much more than 3 years, and I don't think they would have even ever gotten it. But we did things that were miraculous. People call it a miracle, actually. And then, I went out and did something else that people don't talk about. I bought $12 billion worth of the vaccine before we knew it worked. We had an idea it worked, but before. And you wouldn't have the shots till October of this year. So
no, I mean, Operation Warp Speed, President Trump was an amazing miracle, and you deserve tremendous credit for that.